based on my gratefulness, would contribute so many attributions to him, when in fact, what he did was to provide me a formula. And so I noticed that, and that is the reason why I wanted to come here and share that story with you, because I truly, deeply believe and know that asking for help should not make you feel small. And at the same time, should also not put the other person on a pedestal. Because what happened to me in that situation was that I was so full of gratefulness for that other person that I put him somewhere here. And at the same time, I put myself somewhere down here. And that's just not realistic. So when I noticed that that was happening to me, I then decided really realistically to look at him and the characteristics that he had in that situation. And I could see that by doing that, I diminished him a little bit of this pedestal, because I could see it in a more truthful light. And then the next step, I did the same to myself. And I looked, because I was still somewhere here, feeling really small, feeling overwhelmed, not sure. And while I focused on my characteristics in that situation, I could see that all of a sudden, I was working with the things that were in front of me. And I have acknowledged that I needed help in this section. I could see that I'm not fully equipped in the tax system, in that specific context in which that formula was needed, but in the same way he was. So what I did was to acknowledge that I was not so informed. And in the next step, I took the step to ask for advice, to ask for help. And that is why I could then resolve the Excel sheet and the business plan and continue my progress, basically. So that feeling all of a sudden was lighter, was more at ease. And I could still be so grateful from my heart for his support. But at the same time, I could be grateful to myself too and appreciate the steps that I took in order for me to get this support. And what happened was that we could meet at an eye level, eye to eye. And there was no more putting him on a pedestal and putting myself down there. Because that shouldn't be the way that things are. If you're asking for help, it's natural, and it doesn't matter in which aspect in your life you're asking for help. Just as I did with the Excel sheet, tomorrow it could be something different. And we are worth to be acknowledged. And we can acknowledge, it is okay for us to acknowledge also our characteristics, as well as reduce the amount of projections that through our gratefulness we contribute to the other person.